Welcome to Real Talks, where inspiring women share their stories on relationships, growth, and life to empower you to love yourself and others better. My name is Neira, and I'll be your host on this journey. So grab yourself a cup of hot matcha or cacao, buckle up, and let's explore together. Hi, Wilka. Welcome to Real Talks. I'm so excited to have you here today and to talk with you.
Thank you. I'm very happy to be here.
Perfect. So, Vilka, I would love for the listeners if you could just introduce yourself with a couple of sentences, who you are, where you come from, and what are you currently doing? What is your business about?
Yeah, my name is Wilke de Werk. I'm from the Netherlands, currently living in Bali. I had a really, let's say, tough experience the last 2 years about making big decisions, selling my house. Where do I want to live? Do I want to stay in the Netherlands or do I want to live in another country or place? I didn't know at that time. But I'm in Bali now, and I was last year in Bali, and I really love Bali. I come here for 16 years already, and I thought, this is where I want to live. So here I am.
Also,
I,
how we met. We met last year in Bali. So, for those who are listening, I would also love to go a little bit into that experience because I think it's so beautiful to and it enriched. So, it's definitely an enriching experience to my life when I met you.
yeah, that was also very important for me
Mhm.
because I had a very bad experience with a scam that has cost me a lot of money, and I was ashamed about it, and I didn't dare to talk about it. And then I met you. And we were in a yoga barn. And for the first time, I started talking with you about my experience. And you were telling something which was similar. And it gave me so much strength. And after that, it was so much more easy for me to talk about, which is important because if I hold it back only, I was blowing up inside that I needed to talk about. And then experienced that nobody was judging me. I was afraid that people would judge me about it, but nobody's judging about me. And you were the first one, and that was really important for me. And yeah, since then we became friends and doing nice things. And
Yeah, so thank you for sharing that. This is exactly a story that I experienced myself because, as you, I also had a bad financial abuse happening to me last year. And the first emotion that I was carrying while after experiencing this is was not only the pain of losing everything, but also this shame that, like, how did I allow this to happen? How I didn't see who I was dealing with, who was this man, and what were his intentions. And about the moment that I started that I'm gonna work on that shame and open up, I met you and I met unfortunately and fortunately at the same time. Unfortunately, because I really don't love to hear that other women are going through that same pain, but fortunately because I understood that I'm not the only one. So I met a
yeah,
lot of women who I would say at least in last year I met at least 10 women who've been through the same
yeah,
experiences and share this with me. And yeah, I really love to hear that me being authentic and honest and opening up to you and sharing about this, that this also caused something like some reaction in you and or helped you to open up. Because this is the beauty of our healing journey. Like when we carry everything on our own, we just stay in the same spiral, in the same cycle. And when we open up to other women, this is where real healing happens.
yeah, that's beautiful. And I didn't have that in the Netherlands. I never experienced, let's say, I never tried. I didn't talk about it in the Netherlands. But here I experience so much openness and people are really listening and they see you the way you are. It's the first time that I experienced that. So I feel very safe to share whatever is inside of me. And this was one of the most heavy things to share because of the shame and the pain. And it was also not losing the money. It's one part that was the most easy part to accept. But the shame and yeah, that was really tough what you say. Yeah, I recognize that. So Yeah, I was really happy to experience that the first time with you, and it made something special.
Yeah, it deepened our connection definitely. When you say you didn't talk about this in Netherlands, maybe we can go a little bit into this deeper because a lot of women are still somewhere in Western countries. And me also, I experienced this when I was living in Switzerland, that I wanted to talk with people. I wanted to have these deep conversations and open up and also listen to others. But there was always this feeling of tension, of some
Yeah.
kind of barrier that you cannot really open, that you're going to be judged if you share your authentic story. Was this something also that you experienced compared now to
Yeah.
Bali? Everybody is just really authentic and self-aware.
Definitely, definitely. And I realized very much. I was in Bali last year for 8 months, and then I had to go back to the Netherlands for 4 months. And when I was back in the Netherlands, I had my birthday and I was taking care of dogs. I did pet sitting. I have no house. I did pet sitting. I was alone and I didn't get a call from my children, for instance. And I felt very alone. It was since years that I felt really alone. So I wanted to go out. Oh no, do you know your mind? Blah, 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 blah. I said, no, go back to the feeling. So I really felt, yeah. And what I noticed is all my life in the Netherlands, which is a long time, I was longing to connection with people, to real connection. And I had some friends here and then, few female friends I had. Some of them passed away already. But it's here, everybody I meet here, I can talk about the deeper things. And in the Netherlands, I didn't have it. So that loneliness, what I felt on that moment, which was very deep, then I realized, and that was the confirmation for me, like all my life, I'm longing to the real connection on the deeper level. And here in Bali, there are so many women coming together. Why? Because of the energy here and the safetyness and with the friendliness and acceptance, and we can be who we are. We can dress the way we want. I put feathers in my hair. In the Netherlands, they would say, how old are you? That's what they say in the Netherlands. And here, I don't mind. It's what I love because for me, it's a symbol of freedom. I do what I want despite my age. For me, the moving out of the Western countries give me so much freedom and belonging also. Is one is very important to belong to an area or to people or the energy what is here. And I was looking for that for all my life. So I now I found it. That's why I'm so happy to be here in Bali, and leaving the Netherlands was not difficult. Even I have children and grandchildren there.
Wow. What a courageous thing for you to, in your age, to make this decision to go leave your country, leave your family, leave your children, grandchildren, and your friends, and then come to Bali and live there. And I really think that something that you mentioned before, it's a little bit like paradoxical, but really beautiful at the same time, that you said that because many people, when they want to leave, what a beautiful and courageous thing that you did. In your age, you decided to leave your children and grandchildren, your friends, your safety in your home country and go to Bali and explore basically who you are and allow yourself to have this experience of being authentic and connecting deeper with other people. Something that you mentioned really, I think it's really interesting and beautiful because you said that back then you at home you felt lonely and here in Bali you feel connected with other people. And I think for a lot of women who are thinking about traveling and being maybe even starting to be a digital nomad, they have this fear of being alone when they start traveling, which is so funny because I feel like the moment you start traveling, you have that fear. You're carrying, for example, for me, I remember me sitting for around 3 years in the office of my therapist and telling how I want to go to travel, I want to leave Switzerland, and the fear was just blocking me. I could not do it. But the moment I made a decision and I started traveling, I connected as you also on a more deeper and beautiful level with people than I was able to do back home. So for anybody who is listening, if you're thinking about traveling, this doesn't have to be your lifestyle forever. You're totally allowed to change, but if you have that calling in you to go and travel, and the fear is blocking you, there is no reason to be afraid about anything. You will meet beautiful people who will support you on your journey, and it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, definitely. And it's also the people who are here are more open because everybody is traveling. So they left their everything. They left somewhere. They come here as in a new area and they open up because everybody wants to have connections. So in that case, it's more easy. I'm here in my apartment. It's beautiful. I'm looking to the forest and I'm really happy here. But it's for me, it's a choice to go out and to go to certain places where I meet people and to go in activities, go dancing or go having dinners or whatever to meet people. So I take my responsibility for my life. There is no automatic thing anymore. In the Netherlands, there was some automatic things, but here it's not. You have to build up everything. So you can make a choice every day what you want to do. You want to be on your own? Fine. If you want to go to a session or a workshop, go. If you want to go drink somewhere, I love drinking coffee everywhere and then I meet people. Yeah, I start conversation. So it's also about making a choice, which is so much easier in a new country, new place, in a friendly environment. Then, for instance, for me, the Netherlands, I went drinking coffee. I didn't have contact with people. Everybody was sitting like this, talking with the person they are, and they were not open. And here, everybody is more open. So yeah, it's more inviting to connect with each other.
Yeah, true to that. When you talk about responsibility, I would love to talk about with you about generally about taking responsibility for our lives because I know that you have so much experience. You've been through many, through a marriage, divorce. You learned also you were working with people for a long time and now you have your own business and completely still in health, but a different area. How is it for you? What does it mean for you to really take responsibility for your life? Because a lot of times we hear in internet, especially when it comes to topic like relationships, narcissism, that we are always just putting a finger to the other person and trying to figure out their patterns. There's always this question, how can I know that somebody is toxic or unhealthy? But when it comes to taking responsibility about your own life, what would you advise to a woman or what in general? Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. I was married. I was young. I was young when I had 4 children. So in 17 years relationship, I was totally broken down. I didn't want to live anymore. And I wanted to drive to a wall. I was driving a car and I said, if I do this, then my life is over. I was so miserable and unhappy and had so much pain and I lost myself completely. But then I heard a voice, you have 4 children. So I thought, okay, I can't do that. My children needs me, so I have to fight. That's what I started to do. And one of the first things what I realized at that moment is that I am responsible for my life. So now I have to fight for myself and for my children. And I didn't know how and I didn't know what it would be, but I knew I had to fight. So I started fighting. It was a divorce. And then I had no money. I was in a fight divorce, of course. And I had to take care of 4 children. I had to work. I had my household. And I had to build up my life again myself because I was nothing. I felt nothing. I was nothing. I couldn't do anything. I was so downgraded for 17 years. Yeah. And then I thought, okay, now there's nobody else responsible for my life, only me. So I have to make the right choices for me. And of course, I failed in some things. But from that moment on, I made the decisions that felt right for me and was right for my children and the life that I wanted to have with the children. So in that way, I've done multiple things as a career. One of the things what was I didn't know, I didn't realize at that moment, but doing a career and building up was very important for me because I felt nothing. So I want to prove myself I'm somebody. So after my college, I was a manager and then I wanted to be more and more. So I grew in that. And in the end, I was a principal of a big school, 1,200 students. And I worked so hard and I learned so much. But it was more out of the pattern I'm in. You start the school, you do your job, you take care of your children, and you do the things that everybody's expecting. And then I realized I'm not happy because I don't fit in the system.
Yeah.
And that was the point that I had to make new choices for myself. Like, okay, nobody's paying for me. I need an income. My children were already on their own. And yeah, what would I do? And then I started as a spiritual therapist because I did a long education for it. And I started as a hypnotherapist. Yeah, because that was more who I am and what I wanted to do than people were expecting from me. So the feeling that I am responsible for my life grew in the period and made me choose different things.
Wow.
And that's also why I chose to go to Bali. The father of my children is a narcissist. He was influencing them right after the divorce. I didn't know that because I didn't know he was a narcissist. I felt the children were distancing from me, but I couldn't understand it. I was broken. I didn't know what to do because I was always in the survival mode. But slowly he was taking away the children from me. I don't know the stories he has told them. I don't know. So the last years, especially with the COVID, my children were distancing. Mom, I don't want to see you. I didn't really understand why. I'm different than them because their father is really let's say he's doing exactly what the surrounding is saying he must do. And of course, he's doing it in a very overreacting, look at me, how good I am, what the narcissist is doing. But he is influencing them, and the children are following them. And I'm different. I follow my own path. They accept it, but they don't appreciate it or whatever. So the distance between my children and me is growing. And in the end, I didn't see them maybe once or twice a year. Even I have 9 grandchildren. That's the most painful thing in my life, my grandchildren. So when this whole scam happens, then I really felt, you know what? I'm going to Bali. I leave my house, I leave my environment, I leave my children, I go to Bali, I don't know for how long, and I stay there 8 months. And I felt here, this is my home. So making these decisions is not easy, especially the time before the decision. But if you have made the decision, it's so easy because then everything is coming, what you need to know, and then it's much more easier to go and follow your heart.
Wow, what a painful and inspiring story, but at the same time, I can see how you were capable to grow out of that pain and go basically from pain to purpose to understand what is happening and all the patterns that you were describing that are so typical for being around a narcissist that is there, the gaslight, the manipulation of your surrounding, they're turning and twisting the story always and other people against you, and especially because they know that it's painful for us to be isolated. It's like different kind of isolation then. But you managed to grow through this and take a radical responsibility for your life. And I was talking in the last podcast also with Camilla about this, how at the end we really have to have this conversation with ourselves, like hard conversation with ourselves. Look in the mirror, look in your eyes and have talk with yourself and say to yourself like, hey, this is not going to be happening anymore. And I will find the support. I will find ways for myself to go out of this. And it is also possible. Like you're again another proof that it's really possible to go out of any traumatic situation, any
Yeah.
pain, any struggle that we are in at the moment. And like a lot of times young women come to me and they are maybe also have children and they think now I'm bonded with this man for the rest of my life. They may be financially dependent on them. And I really love how your story is proving them that you can start over. You can start over many times and you don't have to stay till end the rest of your days in this situation.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that if you only think about, oh, this is for the rest of my life, I am now moving to Bali. And then people say, oh, but what will you do in 10 years when you may not be so healthy as you are now? I said, I don't know what I'm going to do in 10 years. I don't need to make a decision now for over 10 years because if you do, that will stuck you. But if you can go with it, like now it feels the best to do this, maybe for 1 year, maybe for 5 years, maybe for 10 years, I don't know. then you keep on moving. Otherwise, you stay stuck and you blame yourself after 10 years. Oh, I should have done this, should have done that. No, go in the flow and make it more small for yourself, like what I did. Yeah, I'm moving to Bali. I don't know for how long. I have no idea. I don't need to know. It's make it smaller and yeah, and give yourself the permission to say, this was not so good, this decision. Okay, let's look what I will do next. It's okay.
Allow yourself to make mistakes. Be cautious while making these mistakes to not hurt other people because we still have the responsibility towards others. But I feel like the society is so afraid to make mistakes. Like
Yeah.
also in when you're in a relationship, for example, it's like this feeling of maybe you can relate to it, this feeling of what if I end this relationship? Am I making a mistake? I struggled with this a lot, like thinking like, oh my God, if I now end this relationship, maybe I'm doing a mistake, maybe this is the love of my life. And then when you make a mistake and you separate yourself from that situation, and a year afterwards you look and you're like, oh my God, this was the best decision ever. Mistakes, it's okay. We are here to learn and expand from what we are learning.
Yeah. Many people are afraid because they don't know what's coming.
The answer to your life.
Yeah, and I'm a person, I like new things. Many people don't like it, and that's okay, they're different. But I like new experiences and to do new things. So for me, it's more easy to step in the unknown than for somebody who wants to be certain about everything or keep it in the way it always was and feels very comfortable with it. For me, it's boring. So it's also a part of the personality. I don't like boring. So if something is boring, then I will bring something in it that's it's new and I learn or experience new things. So there's also, yeah, it's also personality, but I would really advise to women, oh my God, please follow your heart and not your head, because your head is afraid. It's the ego, it's holding you back, but your heart wants to jump. It wants to jump and it wants to experience. And yeah, one of the things that I also want to mention here is for me, being able to do this, I'm 68 years old. Being able to do this all, living the life that I have now, it's so important to be healthy. That's why I quit my practice as a therapist, because I've done that long enough. I thought, no, there are so many beautiful people here. They are therapists, coaches, and what you are doing beautiful things. But being healthy is a priority. And that's why the energy that I want to give to the society in my work space, I'm working with a product which is even to the body because I want a natural health. I don't take medicines. I'm not going to doctors. That's my biggest wish, to grow older without medicine. And it's possible because I met a lady, she told me about the products, and it's even to the body. It's in every cell in us, and it's taking care of the self-healing. Now, for me, the only way of healing, physical healing, but it's also connected with mental and emotional healing, the only way is the healing of our body itself. Pills don't heal. They make it more easy, they take care of symptoms, but they don't heal. And the only healing is our body's certain molecules. Now, when you grow older, you produce less. That's why so many people of my age have all kinds of problems. But now there is a company and it makes exactly the same molecules. And if you take that, your body can start to heal wherever it's needed. So I started with it many years ago and I'm taking it every day. I still do because my body is not producing it more, it's producing less. And I take it every day so I don't get sick because my body can adjust. It can adjust the more stress, it can adjust more poison in the food, in the water, in the air, whatever. So I can deal much better with all the things that are happening, especially now. So being healthy, eating healthy food, exercise, these are things which are so important. And keep your mind and keep your shit. Make sure that you get rid of it. That's why it's so important to go to a therapist. I've been so many times to therapists, so many times to coaches. I've done trainings and studies because I had to get rid of all these experience that I had in my life to be happy. And for
Yes.
that, it's so important to good take care of yourself in all the way, in a holistic way, in all the ways. It's so important to tell people about this, to give them an opportunity to become healthy, to stay healthy, whatever your age, whatever the problem.
Yeah.
So that's my really mission now in the world, to tell people and give opportunities.
Yeah, I love the holistic approach because being in Bali, it's like also there's a lot of spirituality and a lot of focus on spiritual healing. Just sit, meditate, do breath work, do sound healing, Kundalini activation, all these beautiful modalities that are, and I'm one of the facilitators for all of this spiritual woo-woo stuff also. But at the same time, what I noticed is that people often forget exactly what you were talking about right now, that you have to take care first of your body. You have to lower down the inflammation in your body. You have to eat clean, move enough. And this is the base. If your body is not healthy, you can be sitting meditating the whole day, but this will not reach the levels that you would reach if you take care of your body also. And yeah, for example, what you said also about working with on a different levels, always take care of your body, take care of your nervous system, then work on your patterns, because the patterns are then the ones that are blocking us,
Yeah.
our emotions and patterns. This is where coaching or subconscious work on a subconscious mind can help. And then from there, you can reach some certain levels of happiness. You can reach different states of creation, of co-creating with life. And people just want to reach happiness and they think that it's one destination, one point. And then when I get it, that's it. I'm going to do this one thing and it's going to bring me here. And then everything is perfect. It's not like that. Life is always going up and down, and you're always going to be peeling new layers of the existence and this experience of what life is and learning about yourself in new ways. But when you have a good base of a healthy body, healthy mind, you're
Yeah.
taking care of yourself daily, then from that place you have enough energy to create whatever you want, and then life
Yeah.
becomes a beautiful play. It becomes really, I love to say, always say yes to life, but to say yes to life, you have to have this base and the energy to do. A lot of time as some experience, and I was also like that, especially when I was working in corporate job and pharmaceutical industry. I would wake up in the morning and really feel low without any energy. I could not do any. I had like beautiful ideas, but it was not possible to create them, to bring them out of my mind into this world. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's definitely true. And everything is connected. If you have pain, you don't have the space to be creative because you are in pain. So all the energy and your focus is going to pain. So and it gives stress, and stress is not good for the pain also, because you get more stress, more pain if you have more stress. So everything is connected. So I always say you have to turn on all the wheels and be
Yeah.
aware of it. Like many young people, they say, oh, and I understand that. They say, oh, I can drink whatever I want, I can eat whatever I want, but they don't realize that what you're doing is the base for when you grow older. When you're young, you don't mind. You live in the now and you don't mind about growing older. I'm happy that I realized that when I started to have kids, because I needed to be healthy. I needed my strength, I needed my energy. So then from that moment, I started to take care of the small things for myself. And it's everything. If you really want to come there and be happy, what you say, you need to turn on all the wheels. Physically, what are you doing? What are you eating? You need to detox. We are living in a very poisoned world. Everything is poisoned. So you need to detox every day. How are you going to do that? I do it with Asia because this product is cleaning the cells, but there are more ways to do it. Find your way how to clean your body. When your body is clean and you eat, then you get proper energy. Eat food what gives energy, not food what's nice like sugar or whatever. Eat food what gives you energy. And if you have the energy, you can also start to work on yourself, because then you can go to your pain and to your grief and to all these processes, which cost a lot of energy and it costs a lot of focus and awareness. And if you don't feel well, you can't do it. So, and then you can become happy because your shit is away and it's not bothering you all the time anymore. So it's a very interesting process. And I can only recommend do it as quickly as possible. Start with it. Find your things, what is best for you. I did it my way, you did it your way, and do it as soon as you be aware of it. And that's what I love from Bali, the women I meet. They are so aware of health and their emotional and their mental state and physical. And that's what I love. It resonates so much and it's so much easier to live.
Yeah, yeah. I love what you're saying, do it your way. I think for sometimes for people it's not clear that when they come, for example, to coaching, that we are not giving anybody like a roadmap that you have to follow ABC and you do this and this is only one way and you have to do it. There are many ways how you can improve your life. And when you go to a coach, for example, coaches are there to really help you to figure out what is your way. So if, for example, I love to go to gym, you don't have to go to gym. You can decide to go running or cycling. This is your way how you take care of body. Or if I'm following certain kind of diet, somebody else can find a healthy version of for themselves. Or whatever you want to create in life, your business, your relationships, there are many ways how to do this. And I loved your analogy also about the wheel. There's something in the coaching that's called a tool that's called Wheel of Life. And the Wheel of Life is really a beautiful way to put on paper all of the aspects of your life and rate them, then see, okay, this is my health from 1 till 10. I think my health now is at, for example, at 6. Then you take like your relationships, your finances, your business, spirituality, how is your family, and you can rate yourself in every score and score in every area and see where are you really in life and how satisfied are you with what you have. So it's like a mirror for yourself where you can
Yeah.
see here I am and this is where I want to go, and this is those are the areas that I can improve, and then you can find out for yourself which are the tasks that you have to take to improve that certain part of your life. And it's also, when I was learning about this, there was this funny thing that my coach back then said. He said, if somebody is telling you, oh, my life is perfect, everything is good, just give them the wheel of life to do, and then they will see how many things they can still improve.
It's what you said, it's up and down. But if I look at my life, where I come from and where I'm now, you see the underline is going up very slowly. It's not a quick fix, but it's going very slow. But for me, it's important that the underline is going up. And what's above, it's going up and down, and that's totally fine. But I also want to say, because you are mentioning it about relationship, that is something what I find really interesting, because I don't know what is the best way for me, for instance. I am divorced now for more than 30 years, long time. I've had some short relationships, but I'm single for a very long time. And being here in Bali, most people are much younger, and I love the energy. But what about the relationships? If you look at my wheel, you would see that my wheel is up, except the relationship. And that's very interesting, because I'm figuring out, I'm feeling about it and thinking about it. And maybe it's nice to talk another time about this, because it's a really interesting topic. What is a program and what is real human, feminine for us to be in what kind of situation? I don't know. I am try to figure it out. What is a program? Are we programmed in a certain way? The culture, you have to be with a man, then you are whole, and then you are happy. Or are we meant to be together, get children, but also meant to be and grow by yourself and not taking care of families and not taking care of men? I don't know. And it's really an interesting topic, but I would like to go deeper in it.
I have
Yeah.
a opinion about this, and I believe that a union between masculine and feminine is definitely possible, and for me, it's actually a spiritual path to. I think a lot of people just go into relationships out of unconsciousness because there is this natural urge to create, procreate. There is on one hand also cultural conditioning that you have to be in a relationship. People are also afraid to be alone. Nobody's today know how to really be with themselves. So it's the way to fulfill ourselves through another person.
Yeah.
But when we put all of those things on the side and really go on understanding ourselves deeply, some of us are going to be really lucky to find another person who is also on that path, who is true love is only possible between two meditators, because between two people who are really conscious. And I think I'm a lover. I'm a lover, and I will always believe that love is possible and that it's possible to find a person who is so self-aware and working on themselves and so happy in their own existence. Then, when those two people meet, they are like not trying to complete each other, but they are
Yeah,
really
exactly.
back together. And for me, I always imagine it like listening to the beautiful piano together. So this is what love is for me. It's not about competing with each other. It's about feeling that you owe of love that you already carry in yourself in the presence of another person. So you're just witnessing it. You're not asking to be loved, or you're just giving.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's for me the challenge also. I really said to myself, if I go into a relationship, then it must be someone, a man, who can create and want to create a safe space for me. And I can be fully who I am. And I can stay on my own and I can stay together. I really would love to have one relationship in my life in this way, to feel really loved and someone creating a safe space for me, and having the feeling that I don't have to do everything by myself, because that is the red line in my life. Even in the marriage, I always had to do it by myself. And then really feeling the support from somebody. And I also know that at my age, it's not easy to find somebody who is conscious about this and which will fit. But I'm really happy by myself. It's something that will the cherry on the cake. If
Yes.
I would have relations like that, it would be the cherry on the cake. And yeah, because I'm really happy here in Bali. And yeah,
I think the message for other women is also that some women are also really single for a long time as you are, and we cannot force anything in life. And if you have fulfilled life in many other areas, then your creative energy is going into business, into your friendships, into your life in general, like traveling, exploring, learning new things. And it's a beautiful and fulfilled life.
yeah,
And when we are manifesting something, the more we trying to hold on that idea, the more we want it, the more we are sending the message to the universe that there is a certain lack in it.
yeah,
So this is this play between knowing exactly what you want, what are your values, what are your wishes, what do you want to manifest into your life, for example, a partner like you want, but at the same time really letting go and
yeah,
be in a place where you are so certain that the universe will deliver but you're not holding on to it. And it's
yeah,
a challenge. I'm still learning it myself sometimes. But it's a way to be.
yeah. And it's important to be satisfied with I have a beautiful life. Come on, I living my dream life. And sometimes we don't realize it, but uh, like you created the life that you really wanted at this moment. So we
Such
are
a
so fortunate.
do that. Yeah, it's a really privilege, and there's so much gratitude for everything that it's happening. And the more you
Yeah,
have, the more you cultivate that feeling of gratitude in your heart, the more you attract also another abundance. Yeah.
yeah, definitely, definitely. That's what I experienced. Now, thinking back in the life that I had as, let's say, when I had my house and Oh, I can't imagine anymore. It's such a big difference. It was so closed and so down, and so many people are still living like that. And we deserve a life with this, with the beautiful things, abundance, with beautiful friends. We really deserve it. And it's time. It's time for us women that we stand up and say, hey, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Yeah.
This is such a beautiful message to close up this talk. Thank you very much, Wilka, for sharing this. I feel that this is the motivation that coming from your heart, directly the same as for me to really show other women that it's possible to go out of all of that negative emotions, darkness, into a
Yeah.
more life that it's full of love, compassion, abundance, and that it's time for us to lead with our hearts, not just with yeah.
Definitely.
Much here. I enjoyed really much this talk with you. And yeah, for all of you who are interested into connecting with Wilka, or if you have any questions about the product that she's working with, I will leave in the comments in the description section her Instagram and her email address or website. So you can
Yeah.
contact with her. And if you have any questions, just send us a message. We would love to chat with you, to connect with you, and support you in any way that it's possible.
Thank you so much. I love to be here, and I'm happy to be able to tell about my life and inspire others. So thank you very much.
Thank you. If today's conversation resonated with you, follow us on Instagram and connect with us there. The link is in the description. See you in the next one.